So it still says zero views. If there's anyone there, feel free to send a chat. Oh, I think I saw a heart. So this is the latest and greatest version of the terminal block mining simulation game. So I guess for the last, I don't know how many weeks of playing this, I've been saying that I'm going to fix up some of the bugs, some of the lag issues. I just quit the game by accident. There we go. Yeah, see I don't know if you noticed any difference, but it loads a bit better. Oh, there we go. Four viewers. Yeah, so this week I changed some of the major improvements I made were better flow control for how chunks are sent to be requested on the server, and also when chunks come back as uninitialized, the client initializes them and then does a write on the server. And I had no flow control on that. So what was happening was there was a whole bunch of write transactions for initializing the chunks, and all of those transactions would go back at once, and that would slow things down, and then more uninitialized chunks would be found. So then it was constantly bogged down trying to do those writes. So those have been throttled now, and so by default I think there's there can only be one pending write transaction, and I also have some ability to prioritize writes. I haven't really taken much advantage of that yet, but that may be a thing in the future, so I can prioritize writes for things that have to do with user interaction. Although I do know it, I think because it's staggering the writes a lot more, I think I can hear the hard drive clicking a lot more, so it probably puts a lot more stress on the hard drive. All right, so there's only a few people here, but might as well do my weekly update this week. So this is what I worked on this week. So I actually feel like I'm starting to get caught up on the 5 million things I've been working on. This week, last week I submitted the accounting to the accountant, and this week I got something back from the accountant, and so I think they have finished doing all the initial revision and stuff, and they filed some of the stuff, so I signed off on that. And then I think the only thing left to do is pay the accountant, and also released the newest shorts video on the exit command, borrowing on some real life experiences. The next item is, I've been saying for a super long time, I want to get back to the block mining simulation game, and I finally did that this week. I finally finished some of those lag bugs and did another release. This release actually has a bunch of improvements that I made over the on the side over the last few months. So I think this is the first release where it's it doesn't have super major bugs or really bad lag problems. So I think for most Linux computers, you could probably actually run this and move around and stuff. For some of the previous ones, there was those flow control issues I had were causing a lot of lag in the game, and it was kind of making it impossible to play and move around, and it was just very unpleasant. Oh, and I said before I want to do another Kickstarter to work on the game a bit more, so I actually started a bit of work on that today, and so not sure exactly when I'll do a release of that, but that's the next thing I'm working on. And then once the Kickstarter is active, then I'll probably also do a bit of work on the game, and also maybe work on marketing it a bit more, and then and of course also do some more long form videos. Oh, another thing I worked on this week was so if I expect people to actually play this game, I think security is probably I think, like, personally, I would not, if some random person pointed me to a Git repo and like random jars, I would not want to run it. So just to give a bit more confidence, I looked into doing signed commits, and I also have some signed jars, so you can like created a PGP key pair and distributed that to key servers, and that was I've known about that before, but this was the first time I actually really dug into setting up the key ring and verifying the signatures and kind of understanding the whole process. So that's I think that would be a good video topic, but I'll defer that off into the future. But on GitHub, the commits should show up as signed with my GPT key, and also in the releases. I have the ASC files, and so you can actually verify the signature. You can download the jars and verify the signatures. And I added some instructions for exactly how to do that. Okay, and that's it for updates for this week. And so the next thing will be a bit more playtesting of the game, because now that I have a new version, there's potential for new bugs. That's interesting. The view count is quite a bit lower tonight. I think it's kind of funny. The more I've done live streaming, the lower my numbers go. I guess that's an indication that I'm not very good. I need to drink more energy drinks, I guess. I think I started off around 40 viewers at the start, and then kind of tapered off since there. Since then, I think you should usually down around 10. But I have noticed that the number of people who unsubscribe has been going down. So it used to be like 3 or 4 people would unsubscribe for every live stream, but in the last few it's been like a bit flat. So I guess it just takes time for the algorithm to figure it out. The all-knowing algorithm. I guess people are also we're in an economic recession now. I think like Twitch in general I know their numbers are down. I think people are running out of money, so they've got to get new. Everyone has to get new jobs, and they can't sit around watching people on live streams all day. Oh, there should also be a link in the description now. I updated it. I gotta start promoting my block mining game now a bit more. Now that it's like, I think it's actually a playable thing now. Let's go down really far. That's a bit of a UI bug right there. Let's just keep going down. All right, that's as far as I can go down. So if you watched any of the other live streams, you will probably notice that I always end up going to the same area. The maps are deterministic. I just have a fixed seed that I use every time for this, because it's convenient for testing. You may have noticed that the distribution of ore in the game is not very clever. My terrain generation algorithm is pretty basic. I think I just have a few like kind of numerical range brackets where when I added a few new block types, I just kind of stuff them into a given range. So that's why all the different ore types show up around the edge of the pockets. It's because that's where like the highest gradient is. Let's go over here and see what's this way. Nope, nothing over there. Our first chatter of tonight, TR2 says hi. How's it going? How's the audio? I wonder if the audio was really bad tonight or something. I remember that I had those two streams where I had an audio issue, and I never explained why. I never figured out exactly why it happened. I thought it was because of a bad cable, and then I got a new cable, and it didn't really seem to fix it. little low. I guess maybe I'll just got to get closer to the mic, I guess. How's the hard drive clicking? Does that show up? I think I can kind of hear it. I don't know if it's obnoxious. Sound is good. That's good. That's the most important thing. Because if it's bad, people will just show up and be like, nope, close this window. Yeah, as a side effect of fixing those like flow control issues, it seems to have made chunk loading like a lot faster in general. This computer is slower, but on my main desktop, I can actually I can run through the world, and the world generates just as fast. Like I can't catch up to an unloaded chunk, which is quite. I mean, that's what you would expect in a real game. But if I actually get around to improving the noise generation function, then that might make it pretty like much more pleasant. I think reducing the lag is going to be one of the big things. There's also some issues with it's quite stressful on the terminal, I think, to be printing all these emoji characters, which is kind of amusing. You would think that printing text is a pretty primitive thing that should be fast and efficient. You know, we've had like 70 years to perfect terminals, but they're still slow. And I guess in this case, they can be slower than like an advanced 3D, amazing graphics game like World of Warcraft or something. Yeah, so if you're wondering about like what I changed majorly, it's mainly making it prioritize more loading chunks and initializing chunks around where the player currently is. So right now, as I move around right up to those chunks, it's loading them. But then what was happening before is if I just try to go way up here, it was lagging way worse. I guess it's still lagging a bit now, but it would take like a long time for it to start to turn around and start initializing chunks over in this direction. You need GPU acceleration for the terminal? Yeah, that would be a good... Yeah, I don't know. I know, actually, I think one of the issues with the GNOME terminal was it was lagging really bad, and it was some kind of NVIDIA graphics driver issue, which kind of begs the question of why is my NVIDIA video card slowing down the terminal? Is it doing some kind of graphics acceleration thing or something? So maybe that's already a thing. I don't even know. Yeah, it's still a bit laggy on this machine, but it kind of like, it's more playable than it was before. I think probably one of the big issues is going to be the write latency. It's going to be because I'm using SQLite, and the the way I store the blocks in the database, it's just a simple like three or four column table with all the X, Y, and Z, and then the block data. So it remains to be seen if that will scale very well. It does still seem to have a bit of a like jitter. It's locking up a bit, it looks a bit like that flow control problem. I'll have to investigate that. This Excel sheet looks insane. It's my terminal-based block mining simulation game. It's a game where you simulate the process of mining blocks in the terminal. Yes, crafting is done. You press the C key, and that's how you craft. So if I press, oh, I've only got one wooden block. So let me go up and get some wood. I'm getting some lag now. There we go. So if I press C, you'll notice the wooden block there. So the wooden block, oh, I forget, there's two recipes, and it automatically chooses the correct one. I don't have, there's no way to like select items or move them or anything in the game yet, so it just so at first I think it consumes some wood and iron oxide. So there's 430 iron oxide, 4 wooden block, and I do C. Is it lagging? C. Maybe I don't have enough. I forget how much wood I need. Need some more wood. Come on, where's my wood? part of that map. There we go. Okay, crafting. So there's 14 wooden block and 430 iron oxide. I press C. Oh yeah, it uses 5 wooden blocks and 5 iron oxide, and so it makes 1 metallic iron. And then if I press C again, it just checks to see if I have metallic iron. So if I have metallic iron, then it makes a pickaxe. And if I don't have metallic iron, then it tries to make more metallic iron. There we go. And if I do it again, now I get another iron pickaxe. So those are the only 2 crafting recipes right now. Yeah, it is slow to load new chunks. This is a slow computer. There's a couple of reasons for the slowness. One is I think it might be the lag in writing to the database. I'm using a SQLite. That may become a problem, but I don't know. For now, we'll see it. I missed one. Hello, Robert Elder from E. Hello, E. Need sleep? Have fun, everyone. All right. Sweet dreams. Yeah, I don't know what it seems to be most. I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock here. Most people on the stream seem to be around the same time zone as me. There's been a few people from Europe. All right, we're up to 8 viewers now. That's a bit closer to my average. Are you guys able to see the link to the block mining simulation game? I think that should be visible for all streams in the future now. Exit, how appropriate. Link is in the description. That's good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to work a bit harder on my flow control for like prioritizing writes that are from the client. So I think the writing of those uninitialized sections, when they get initialized, I think that's slowing everything down, and it's just a bad user experience. I guess in the future I could speed this up. I could like SSH into one of my faster computers and then play it from there. That would make it way more pleasant for these live streams. That's the cool thing about a terminal-based video game. You could just SSH into another computer and play it, and it's no problem. What did I do at NVIDIA when I worked there? I worked on, I rebuilt a dashboard for the CUDA unit tests. So they had a dashboard that showed like nightly test results for all the different combinations of video cards and operating systems and stuff like that. And the system they had was okay, but it was just like really poorly written. Like it wasn't really what meant to be a high traffic website, but they just kept adding more and more tests, and then the page got incredibly slow, and so they wanted me to like just rewrite this thing to make it a bit better and faster. But I also added some stuff to make it so that individual developers could like link to a specific test. So instead of loading the entire test result suite for everyone, including other teams that they didn't care about, then they could just have one list of test results, or they could just have like one specific test and then only load the test result for that. And it was so that we I could just check it in a few seconds, as opposed to waiting for like 10 minutes for this really slow loading page. Yeah, that was the main thing. And I don't think, yeah, that was the only thing I worked on at NVIDIA. And then I think I finished like the main thing they wanted me to do in like 2 weeks. So then I just spent the rest of the term like adding features to this tool and improving the UI and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, if I had stayed at NVIDIA, I would be worth tens of millions of dollars now. Well, you say, did I enjoy it there? I have a video on this topic. Have you seen the video that I did on this topic? I would say go watch the video that I did on the topic. I guess this is, yeah, I did quite a bit of detail. I guess if you had already seen the video, then there's other things I could probably go into more. I think it's called like why I rejected my NVIDIA offer or something. Hello, great content, man. Thank you. And that was interesting. It looks like it is. There's still some kind of flow control issue somewhere. Because like if I go up here, it's lagging, and then, yeah, like that. It shouldn't do that. It should be like smooth, because that way, like that. I think the goal is to just make it so as soon as you walk up to something, now I want to be able to walk into that area. I don't want to have to wait. And now there's like too much area to walk in. Yeah, I don't know if that's maybe... I wonder if I need to do... Maybe I may need to do like flow control on the reads as well. Or on the like chunk loading areas. Actually, I think I do. Yeah, but I think I have it limited to one block at a time. So maybe if I make it so we can have like 2 or 3 pending blocks at a time. As I guess it could be blocking on like one chunk that's like really down in the maybe database cache, and then that's blocking everything else. But I don't know, it is quite slow. It's like several seconds at least. It shouldn't be that slow. Yeah, this is a good example of that. It's not supposed to do this. But I have to add a lot of debug statements to profile exactly what is the source of that kind of like lag spikes. A bunch of sirens going over there. Worked with a guy who wanted us to rename our master branch's domain because of wokeness. He didn't last. Yeah, that's an interesting, like to some degree that, you know, the some words I can kind of see like, okay, it does make sense to rename it, but like removing the word master is like, how do you describe certain, like to reach a state of mastery? Is that somehow a bad thing now? And it's pretty nuts. It's I don't know. I don't think that this cultural phenomena is going to last, because it's going to become an arms race. Like eventually, the word main will have some bad connotation. We'll have to get rid of that. Wait, Java. You're not a fan of Java? Java's I mentioned it before. Java's a good language. Lots of people hate on it. I like it. A game like this, I definitely wouldn't want to do it in C or C++. Singularity Ascension says, hi, how's it going? what is it doing here? So these kind of lag spikes, that was the main thing I fixed in this release, but it looks like there's still some issue with that. I can hear the hard drive's been accessing, so it must be doing some kind of yeah, that's yeah, it's like it's reading all the data at once. I think it's the Java runtime people hate. Yeah, and from what I understand, most people complain about the how much boilerplate there is. It's like so much more verbose, which is it's a reasonable criticism, I guess, but there's a purpose. I think it's you get something for all that verbose interfaces and classes. And I guess even though I've done a fair amount of Java, I'm always learning new things about the internals of it. I would say, I guess because C and C++ is so much more, it's closer to the bare metal. I think I have a much better understanding of like how C and C++ gets compiled, but there's so many random details with the like jar files and the class, like the JVM bytecode and stuff. I don't really understand that stuff too much. I don't know, it's like the more advanced topics like J and I for like interfacing with native interfaces. I don't have a good grasp of that stuff. Oracle going after people who use their JRE for licensing payment is another reason for hate. Yeah, Oracle is, I can totally understand all the hate for Oracle. I don't completely understand I know there's like the OpenJDK, which I'm pretty, as far as I understand, is it's fully open source, so I don't think they can go after you for that. But then again, it's Oracle, so they could just pay their lawyers to find some justification to go after people. So I think as long as you stay away from official Oracle products, I think you're good. My reason is not liking OOP. Yeah, I can get pretty insane, especially when you're like, what is it, the law of Demeter, when you start violating that, and you have like A.B.C.E. I don't know, I think it's pretty, I think you can get carried away with it, but then again, I think I only end up, every time I use OOP, I only go like a few levels. I only find myself needing to go a few levels deep in the dereferencing. Oh, let's get some more wood. In fairness, you can write crap code in any paradigm. Yeah, it's true. how often does your program write to the SQLite database? You mentioned your hard drive spinning up. It's like constantly writing to it. You can hear the hard drive like constantly accessing. I guess you could probably do some caching or something. I mean, this is just kind of like play testing right now, but I don't know, it may become unsustainable to do constant writes, but the idea is like, so if I quit right now, everything is immediately saved to the database. It is getting quite slow right now. I haven't really done a lot of testing where I actually let the database grow in size a bit. So I may end up having problems where it'll be like unusably slow if if you actually get a few like tens of gigs in it in the database or something. Why not load it in RAM? I designed it so that it can be like dynamically. It just loads a certain area of the world into RAM. But the eventual goal that the world can be like infinite. I'll just take advantage of my duping bug. I have a duping bug where if you can basically cause like you can if you hold down M, it'll just remine the same block, and you can effectively like dupe that way because it creates starvation where it doesn't actually update the database fast enough. So right now there's like a million pending writes to update my inventory. Adjust the size of the cache then? I could, but the area that's loaded in memory is not even that big. It's only like the area on screen plus like a little bit outside, and like a little bit in the Y direction, and like I think only like 2 or 3 layers. So I can't really load any less. I mean, it's a slow computer, and I think this is why making games that work well is difficult. There's lots of stuff lots of engineering and analysis you have to do to make it run. I mean, Minecraft is a perfect example. That's one of the most popular games in the world, and it's so incredibly slow and unoptimized. It's actually amazing how much Microsoft has not innovated on making Minecraft faster, with so many like cool shader packs and stuff, and things that other people have developed, but none of that gets integrated into the actual game. It looks like my all my pending writes have backed up. Yeah, I'll need to add something to the game to like give me some status so I can know like how many pending writes there are. So right now I took advantage of my bug. I held down the M key, so there's like a 1,000 database writes queued up to update my inventory by one, increment it by one each time. And that's why it's stuck right now. Once those finish, then it should actually start loading new areas again. Oh, is it working? Yes. It did one update. Is this procedural? Yes. That's another reason it's really slow. It's because I used, I wrote my own noise generation function that uses the SHA-5 12-sum algorithm instead of Perlin noise. Because I thought, oh, I'll go for a really super high quality noise function that's got like really, I guess what would you call it? It has like the right frequency distribution, because Perlin noise is not all that great. All right, there it's catching up, finally. Okay, now I can craft some more mining picks. Now it's lagging again because I made all those mining picks, and every time I registered the C key, it's doing one individual database write. And it looks like they're going really slow. I'll have to double check the database. I can't even remember if I put an index on those columns. So it's quite possible that it'll become like 1,000,000 times faster if I just add an index. This is my favorite terminal block mining simulation game. It's mine too. Yeah, this is my, I think my first release of the game that's like, I could say is actually kind of playable. So I think I'm going to start promoting it a bit more. Got a link in the description this time. Yeah, it's starting to get pretty laggy now. That's annoying. I guess as soon as you fix like one source of lag, things get fast enough that you find other sources of lag. I'll also have to try testing this out and by SSHing into, I have a pretty fast desktop server, so I can just SSH into that and play this, and it should be a lot faster. Oh, I messed up the UI. Let me quit and see if that makes it faster. When you say it's a slow PC, you mean like a 14-year-old Intel Atom? I'm not sure if it's an Intel Atom, but it is. It might actually be like 14 years old. It's pretty old. Yeah, it's nice to have a bunch of old spare laptops laying around. I have like 5 laptops, and even that is like sometimes it's not enough, because sometimes there's just like there's been a few times I've wanted I tested out Fedora for a while, so for that it was like, oh, I'll just install it on another old laptop somewhere. And then I have another I upgraded to Ubuntu 24, and unfortunately it doesn't work. I can't scan any documents. My printer doesn't work with it. So I have to use Ubuntu 20, which does work with my printer. So I have to I did upgrade both of them, but then I downgraded my old laptop to Ubuntu 20. So whenever I have to scan something, I turn that one on and I have to use that to access the printer. Actually, Ubuntu 24 has, I've started to become aware of, there's a decent number of bugs in it that are pretty annoying. There's some really weird lag bugs, I think, with the new NVIDIA drivers. I just kind of ignored it. Like sometimes stuff doesn't open very fast, and sometimes I'm browsing the web, and then my fans will spin right up to maximum. Everything will be 100% CPU for 10-20 seconds, and then it just goes back to normal. And it happens on certain sites with certain types of animations and things, so I think it's probably something NVIDIA related. Annoying. NVIDIA, always causing trouble on Linux. Have I played Sand Tetris? I've never heard of that. Yeah, once again, this thing's getting pretty badly laggy. Yeah, I'll have to double check indexes in the database for sure. I use old hardware, cheap modern CPUs and displays, deliver great performance per dollar. I don't have the money for new hardware at the moment. I have a decent my main laptop is $2,500, but it's also, I kind of regret buying it because the fan is always right up at the maximum. It's just incredibly noisy all the time. How did I learn procedural stuff? I guess the main thing was it's all about noise generation functions. So as long as you can just figure out a way to generate noise in a deterministic way, then you can from that you can just kind of, if you have predictable random numbers, then you can turn that, you can discretize that into terrain or enemies or any kind of thing you want. That is pretty bad lag. But when you add more stuff, it gets even more complex like Minecraft? Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. I think at some point it starts to get like, it starts to get, I think you can kind of easily paint yourself into corners. Like if you have your noise values represent something specific, if you're trying to improve it, then like you can make the terrain better in some ways, but then it also gives you weird artifacts. I mean, like a good example of that is in Minecraft, you'll often find like floating pieces of terrain. Like this, they'll just be like a random 3 blocks by themselves, like just floating up above something for no reason, which is like, you know, it's that's just an accidental artifact. Like it kind of makes for a cool game, but it's really an unintentional artifact of the noise generation and how they are. I think what's happening there is there's, if I remember the Minecraft noise generation algorithm right, it's something to do with there's like the Y value. As the Y value goes up, there's a higher chance of like whatever terrain would be there becoming air. And some combination of that. Yeah, if there was like a low density like cave that would have developed underneath of it, then you can end up with floating chunks of just, you know, several blocks that are just floating for no reason. And I mean, in this game, there's a lot of the terrain is just nonsense. It's just like I guess it'd be kind of interesting to have a flag in this, so you can move around. You could actually, so you could just look at like the noise values. So if I just started like coloring the screen, that would be kind of a neat feature to enable, to just allow you to explore the noise. As part of my unit tests, I actually do have a thing so you can move through the 3D noise structure as like it just makes like an MP4 file, and I use that for testing it to try and get the noise, the frequency and the size right. Yeah, when you get smooth noise, I think that's the name for it. When you get like actual good smooth noise, it looks really cool. I mean, it's something you would recognize when you see it, because it's used for a lot of like visual effects. It looks very natural. It looks like an organic kind of structure, which is kind of, I guess, not by accident. It's because it's found a lot in nature. Well, this is, I think it didn't crash today, so I think that's good progress, but I did establish that there's still some new lag bugs to address in this, or it might just be that this laptop is not cut out for it. Too many database writes. Actually, let me just quit that. Let's see. So the database is bytes, kilobytes, megabytes. So it's 13 megabytes is the world file for this. So that's not that big in the grand scheme of block mining games. So I don't know if it, I don't know if that's a limitation of this computer, or if it's something not great with my algorithms, or but I'll have to do some more investigation to figure out what is the source of this lag for next time. But I think that's good for tonight. So yeah, anyone who's interested in block mining simulation game, check out the link in the description. I'm going to be working on on a small Kickstarter to raise a bit more money to do some improvements to this. So that'll be coming out. Hopefully I can get that out in the next week or so. So I'll be here probably again next Saturday, same time. So have a good night, guys.